All right, so you've bought some crypto. Ever stop and wonder, where is it actually? Like, is it floating around in the cloud? Is it just a file on your phone? It's a great question. And in this explainer, we're going to get to the bottom of it by talking about something called digital wallets. But before we get into all that, let's just cut to the chase with the real question on everyone's mind. Is your crypto safe? Now, I'd love to give you a simple yes or no, but it's not that easy. The truth is, it completely depends on how you're storing it. And here's the thing, a lot of people, and I mean a lot, get this part wrong. It's a super easy mistake to make, but the consequences, they can be devastating. We're talking about the kind of mistake where you could literally wake up one morning, check your account, and see nothing. Everything just gone. So how do you avoid that absolute nightmare scenario? Well, there is one single powerful rule you need to burn into your brain. It goes like this. Not your keys, not your coins. Let that sink in. Now, what do we mean by keys? We're talking about your private key. Just think of it like this. It's a super, super long, impossible to guess password that is the only proof that you own your crypto. It's the master key to your digital vault. And that little phrase, not your keys, not your coins, it's the foundation for everything. And I mean everything we're about to talk about. Okay, so let's dive into the first method. This is probably the most common way people store their crypto. They just leave it right there on the exchange where they bought it. For our explainer, we're going to call this the coat check method. And you're about to see why all that convenience, well, it comes with a pretty big catch. So think about it like this. Leaving your crypto on an exchange is just like checking your coat at a fancy restaurant. They hand you a little paper ticket, right? That ticket says, this coat is yours. But you don't actually have the coat. The restaurant has it in their back room. You're just trusting them to keep it safe until you come back for it. And that's the trade-off right there in a nutshell. The upside? Oh, it's super convenient. Buying, selling, trading, it's all just a click away. But the downside is huge. The exchange holds your private keys. They have control. You're trusting a third party with your money. And if that exchange gets hacked or goes bankrupt, your crypto could just disappear. Poof. Gone for good. Because remember, you only have the ticket. They have your coins. Okay, so what if you're not comfortable letting someone else hold your coat? What if you want to hold it yourself? Well, that brings us to option number 2. We're calling this one the crowded market wallet. And this is a big step because this is where you finally take back control. But there's a catch. You're doing it online. In the crypto world, this is what's known as a hot wallet. And it's hot because it's always connected to the internet. Now, the great thing is you have full control of your keys. But the analogy here is that it's like walking through a really crowded, busy marketplace with your wallet just hanging out of your back pocket. Sure, you're holding it, you're in control, but you're also exposed to all the pickpockets out there. So the pro here is massive. You hold your own keys. You're finally following that golden rule. Not your keys, not your coins. But the con is also a big one. Because it's always online, your wallet is basically a glowing target for hackers and scammers 24/7. It's definitely a big, big step up in security from an exchange, don't get me wrong, but it's not foolproof, not by a long shot. Which, of course, leads us to our third and final option, the most secure method of them all. If you want to get away from the risks of that crowded market, if you want Fort Knox-level security, then you need what we're calling the buried vault. And the key here is one simple but powerful idea. Taking your assets completely offline. This is what's known as a cold wallet, and it's cold because it is not connected to the internet. It's usually a small, physical device, kind of like a special USB drive. The analogy is perfect. It's like your own private vault, buried deep underground, totally cut off from any online threats. For a thief to get your funds, they'd have to physically find this little device and figure out how to crack it. We are talking about security on a whole other level. So the benefit here is obvious. Ultimate, top-tier security. Your keys are offline, completely safe from hackers. But, you guessed it, there's a trade-off. And that trade-off is convenience. If you want to make a quick trade, you can't just tap a button on your phone. Nope. You have to physically get your device, plug it in, and manually approve the transaction. It is, without a doubt, the safest way to store your crypto, but it's also the slowest. Okay, let's do a quick recap of everything. We've got 3 main options. First, the exchange. That's our coat check. The exchange holds the keys, and your risk level is high. Second, the hot wallet, our crowded market. You hold the keys, but it's online, so the risk is medium. And third, the cold wallet, our buried vault. You hold the keys, they're offline, and the risk is very, very low. And what's the one simple idea that ties all of this together? You already know what I'm going to say. Not your keys, not your coins. See? The entire difference between high risk and low risk boils down to one simple question. Who is actually holding your private keys? Is it some company or is it you? So, I'll leave you with this. After hearing about the coat check, the crowded market, and the buried vault, I want you to really think about your own crypto. Ask yourself this question right now. Who holds your keys? Definitely something to think about.
Hey y'all, I hope this helped you understand this stuff a little better. Let me know in the comments, and let me know if there is a topic you are curious about. Maybe I can help. You can also check out these 2 videos. Hope they help you. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hype this video. Always appreciate y'all, and thanks for stopping by the Stoop. God bless always.